What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so before I get into this video, shout out to the brother Gizmo for the donation to the channel via the Cash App. Left a message. He says, "Support you, bro, from the moon and back." I truly appreciate it, bro. Long-time subscriber, long-time supporter of this channel. So, the media is absolutely obsessed, as we've said time and time again, about this GOAT debate, which isn't a real, it's not a real honest debate. It's an agenda. We all know that. And unfortunately, as more and more individuals get removed from the Jordan years, and more people who are talking basketball are secret LeBron fans, the more the agenda is going to be pushed to push Jordan out the way and put pretenders in the way. Put pretenders in there, excuse me. But Steve Francis watched the real deal. He watched Michael Jordan play. Steve Francis, a very good player for a number of years with the Houston Rockets and New York Knicks. In some ways, he was sort of like the Russell Westbrook of his day. He was not a great outside shooter, from what I can recall, a bit streaky. And he also had a tendency to turn the ball over a bit, but he could be electrifying at times. Anyway, in a recent interview in a podcast called Bubba Dub Show, the former All-Star gave his take on the age-old GOAT conversation, reading from fadeawayworld.net, and his own personal top 10 players list. His comments added fuel to the ongoing debates, particularly with how he placed Stephen Curry above Kevin Durant. When asked about who he considers the greatest of all time, Francis did not hesitate. He said, quote, "So all them dunks and moves like ain't nobody's father or even younger ain't never seen come." Oh boy. Look, man, I love you, man, but I'm going to clean this language up a little bit, man. So I saw all them dunks and moves. Like there's no way anybody's father or even younger who has never seen come fly with me. So growing up seeing that, growing up looking at want to be like Mike and him being able to conquer the Detroit Pistons, I grew to know why Mark Aguirre, who's a member of those Pistons, was so, because he coached me with the Knicks. So he told me what they were doing. Their plan to try to assassinate anything Jordan did. Bad. That's a poor choice of words in this climate now, but anyway. So basically what he's saying is he respects Jordan going through the grind and overcoming the obstacle, the biggest obstacle in the NBA, who the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons were beating the hell out of everybody, literally and figuratively, back in the late 80s and early 1990s. They won 63 games in the 88-89 season and 59 games in the 90-91 season. And there were many people that speculated they were going to three-peat in 90-91. So this could have been a historically great team. I mean, remember, Detroit went to, I believe, 5 consecutive Eastern Conference Finals. So they had became a dominant franchise in the NBA. The Bulls could not really match Detroit's physicality nor their talent level. Even though it was always made up that, oh, well, Isaiah didn't play with a lot of great players, he kind of did. They weren't great players, like as far as legends outside of Dennis Rodman. Even Rodman had holes in his game, but he played a lot of guys who were solid basketball players, especially in the era they played. They were solid, sought after. Think about it. Rick Mahorn, John Sally, Dennis Rodman, Joe Dumars. Mark Aguirre was a 20-plus point per game scorer, peaked at 28 points a game in the mid-'80s. Adrian Dantley there won scoring titles. These are guys that played on those teams. The Bulls couldn't match that depth-wise. And this is something that doesn't get talked about a lot. But the Bulls' game plan and coaching and having the 1-2 punch of Pippen and Jordan and their efficiency on offense was able to overcome any type of particular peer player inferiority. They were able to overcome it. But simply put, Jordan was able to overcome a loaded Pistons team. He didn't quit. He didn't run. Like somebody we know. He didn't do that. Now, moving on to Steph Curry. Steve Francis puts him ahead of Kevin Durant. He said, quote, Curry is 7. I don't know who else is 7. He in the top 10. He behind Steph. KD in the top 10. Clarifying that while both are in their top 10, Curry edges Durant. And, look, I don't think Steph Curry is a top 10 all-time player. And I damn sure think Durant's a top 10 all-time player. And while I do think that Steph Curry is tremendous, we got to kind of be fair with the deck stacking thing. If we penalize Kevin Durant for stacking the deck, right? We penalized LeBron James. And now we started penalizing Dwayne Wade because 2 of those championships he got came on a super team, right? So wouldn't it be fair to also penalize Steph Curry for 2 of his 4 rings being on stacked teams? Because we don't put Klay Thompson, a lot of us barely have him as a top 100 player, if that, right? And a lot of it's that, Steph benefited, Klay benefited from playing with Steph, and Klay benefited from playing on a super team. Well, Steph did too. So now I have Steph maybe like, it fluctuates, but I think I have him around top 15, maybe. Top 15-ish. Top 18, somewhere in that range. I have to look at my list again. But be that as it may, I do agree with him being ahead of Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's had way too many playoff failures. And I'm a guy that looks at the playoffs. I don't care if you've been, dominating in the regular season. If you don't have a lot of playoff experience or you don't have a lot of playoff success, it counts against your legacy. That's why, as great and as creative and as much as an innovator Pete Maravich was and is, the fact that he only had 26 career playoff games hurts him in the long run. It hurts him, So that's just how I look at that, But I agree wholeheartedly with Steve Francis that Michael Jordan is the GOAT, at least in the modern era. I put Wilt up there, but I don't have a problem with anybody putting Michael Jordan as the GOAT. LeBron James is simply not the GOAT. He's just not, man. Like, honestly, he's everything that people in the media point to other guys. People say, that, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is a free throw merchant. Well, LeBron's a stat merchant. Chasing numbers and stats. He's more preoccupied with individual records rather than winning. And he's been that way since the bubble. It is sad. That's all I got to say about it.